2 years in post-production, and the documentary on the legendary Michael Schumacher was released on Netflix. This documentary is special as it is the only one which has the family's permission and their personal inputs. Since the horrific accident that took place in the Alps on 29 December 2013, news about Schumacher's well-being and whereabouts have been few and far between. This Netflix documentary gives a chance to connect to the fans as also a celebration of the glorious debut that took place 30 years ago.
Schumacher.
Hi, I'm Savio Mascarenhas and welcome to the Schumacher special on Esporte Savvy. We all know about Schumacher's brilliance and ruthlessness, and when it rained, he was in his league of his own. In fact, Schumacher was a shrewd racemaster who had an incomprehensible desire to win at all costs, and hence it also attracted certain controversies of his own. In this video, we explore 5 surprising facts you never knew about Michael. Okay, so there are many other things that the average F1 fan is unaware about. His love for horse riding, football, skiing. He helped in designing the Ferrari Enzo and still liked driving the Fiat Abarth 500. He acted in movies Asterix and Obelix and even gave a voiceover in cars. And once he drove a taxi to the airport in Belgium to avoid missing the flight. There are a lot of unknown facets about him, but here in this video we talk about the 5 surprising facts that you never knew about Michael.
Schumacher.
When the tsunami struck in 2004, Michael Schumacher was among the millions who suffered a personal loss. His bodyguard, Burkhard Kramer, was in Thailand, Phuket, with wife and 2 small kids, where they were washed away. Michael was so moved by this tragedy that he donated a whopping $10 million to the relief fund. This amount was more than any individual had ever donated towards the tsunami and also more than most organizations. Michael, in fact, was a very generous person and he has donated over $50 million in a 5-year period between 2002 to 2006. In fact, Michael has donated over $100 million in his lifetime to various charities and funds in countries all over the world. Michael Schumacher could possibly be the biggest donor in the sports fraternity.
Schumacher.
This has to be one of the greatest. This is the greatest debut story for a sports legend in history. Period. Bertrand Gachot, a Belgian F1 driver, was part of Team Jordan in 1991, and in previous December, he had an altercation with a taxi driver in London. A week before the 11th race of 1991, the Belgian Grand Prix scheduled for 25th August, Gachot's trial took place in London, and surprisingly, he was sentenced to 18 months of imprisonment. Now, Eddie Jordan, the owner of Team Jordan, had to find a replacement ASAP. Willy Weber, Schumacher's manager, convinced Jordan that Schumacher knew the Spa circuit very well. In fact, Schumacher had never driven around the Spa circuit in any kind of race car. Also, Schumacher had never been in a Formula 1 car prior to 1991. He was into closed car racing and was under contract with Mercedes. Mercedes paid $150,000 to Jordan to let Schumacher drive for that weekend. And on Saturday qualifying, Schumacher came 7th, which was a sweet surprise to the team as they had never qualified higher than 7th. And Schumacher even managed to beat his experienced teammate Andrea de Cesaris. On Sunday race day, Michael started brilliantly and then in the first 2 turns he went from 7th to 5th, but unfortunately the car suffered clutch problems and he had to retire. 2 turns was all that the German could manage in his debut race. Taking advantage of the situation, Flavia Briatore, the MD of Benetton, managed an overnight coup by signing a contract with Michael Schumacher starting the next race itself, as Jordan had not yet formally signed an official contract with Michael Schumacher. Sometimes talent is not enough, you need a little bit of luck so that the world can sit up and take notice.
Schumacher.
In 2004, German television viewers were asked to vote for the athlete of the century. The poll was unusually conducted 4 years later, but after receiving over 100,000 votes, Michael Schumacher came on top and was named as Germany's Sportsperson of the Century. On the way to this honorary title, he managed to beat 8-time Olympic gold medalist Birgit Fischer, tennis goddess Steffi Graf, and football legend Franz Beckenbauer. Although Michael had achieved most of his greatness in early 2000s with Ferrari, but he was already his country's favorite child. Michael Schumacher was the first German in F1 history to win a world title when he won the 1994 World Championship with Benetton, and he doubled it up in 1995. Michael was the first German to win an F1 title in over 40 years, and since then, Germans have won 12 titles, with Michael holding 7 of them. He truly inspired a new generation of racers.
Schumacher.
After a record-breaking 2002, Ferrari and Michael Schumacher had a disastrous start in 2003. Michael failed to make it to the podium for the first 3 races, and just hours before the qualifying of the 4th race, Michael Schumacher and Ralf Schumacher got a news that their mother was seriously ill. However, the brothers put up a courageous performance and came 1-2 in the qualifying event. On Sunday, couple of hours before the race, the brothers got the tragic news that their mother had passed away. But still, they took a very brave decision of racing in San Marino. The race began and Ralf overtook Michael to take the lead. But when the checkered flag came out, Michael Schumacher won the race, which was his first of the season, and Ralf Schumacher, who was driving for his Williams, came fourth. On the podium, Michael, still in grief, took the trophy and refused a champagne celebration and left immediately to Cologne, Germany with his brother Ralf to be with their mother in her last rites. This victory stoked a fire in Michael and he went on to win the next two races also. And when the championship ended, he won the title by beating McLaren's Kimi Raikkonen by 2 points. Guess, sometimes tragedy brings out the best in us.
Schumacher.
Since 2000, the Laureus Sports Award is considered to be the biggest award for any athlete. Michael Schumacher winning in a Ferrari was a very common headline in 2000, and expectedly he won the award multiple times in 2002 and in 2004. He was nominated a total number of 6 times for the Male Player of the Year award, but Michael's nomination from 2001 to 2005 for 5 consecutive years is still a record and is shared with another sports legend, Roger Federer. Federer himself went on to win the award 5 times. This is from me and ode to Michael Schumacher. Let me know if there's anything that I've missed out. And don't forget to watch the documentary on Netflix to see and know Michael from the inside. Thanks for watching and be sure to subscribe to Esporte Savvy if you still haven't. Let's all be sports savvy.